We hope you enjoy The Magicians, Proof of Life by Rachel Lawson.
Oh, I was like you before. Time's cruel wake took my youth. I was like you, a child long ago. Now I quake in awe of you. I am in awe of your innocence of heart and your youth to come. Oh, I was like you before. Time's cruel wake took my youth. I was like you, a child long ago. Now I quake in awe of you. I am in awe of your innocence of heart and your youth to come. I am older than you. Part of me wishes I were you. I envy you for the world you will see when I am gone. You will see more than I will see when my life is done, because I am lost to time's cruel.
Sang a man known as one of the elders of his race, a near-immortal, non-human race of aliens. He was known to be near 200 at least. His true age was unknown, as he appeared in the late 1800s as an adult from God knows where, with amnesia, to be adopted by the former Emperor of the Universe, who he followed as Emperor of the Universe, which he was then. He was over 1,000 years old in reality, though he didn't look it. His people aged to 25, then stopped aging visibly. He got over his amnesia. He remembered where he came from. He was born, his grandson, Blake, the deposed local emperor of his solar system. Blake stood behind him on the stage, where the galactic Emperor Fred sang, and he was listening to his grandfather. He knew he was him too, and the irony got to Blake as much as the elder man, Fred. Neither spoke of it, but the one who spoke was their son, who knew their secret. Backstage, he accused Fred of singing to himself. Fred scoffed, embarrassed, telling Lakelandite he should go find someone else to bother, as he wasn't needed. Both men knew the son was just fishing for a rise again, and it worked. Then they went to mix in the forum separately, where Fred disappeared, awakening in a room he'd never seen before. Damn, not again, he muttered to himself. He'd been kidnapped before. He tried a teleport spell, nothing happened, which was odd. They always worked. He walked to the door and tried it, but it was locked, and so was the window, which was barred. His superhuman strength wasn't working either. He thought he'd been drugged. He wondered who had him and why. On the upside, he was still in the same clothes he'd worn to the forum. He realized he was trapped. He sat down in a chair he found in the room to think about how he got there. The last thing he remembered was drinking lemonade while speaking to the ambassador from Betelgeuse. He wondered if it was a power play by the Betelgeusian Empire, an enemy of his people, the magicians. The ambassador had been overly eager to have a drink with him. He hadn't noticed at the time. Elsewhere, days later, Lakelandite was getting strips torn off him as he was Fred's bodyguard. "I am not his keeper," Lakelandite grumbled at his uncle Reynard, the man in charge of the Emperor's security team. "You let someone kidnap him?" snapped Reynard. "Me? What about you?" Lakelandite accused. "This blame game isn't helping us find him," said Blake, who was there with them. "True," agreed Reynard. "What do we know?" asked Reynard. "We have tons of people sending us letters from people claiming they have Dad," said Lakelandite. "Any credible ones?" asked Blake. "Not yet. Most are just conmen who want money," Lakelandite said grimly. "Do we suspect anyone?" asked Blake. "The Betelgeusians are our enemies. We are at war with them. They would love to take our leader so they can use him as a political pawn, but this is just speculation," said Reynard candidly. They posted a request for proof of life on the news, to whittle through the spammers, opportunistic conmen, and the true kidnappers. They gathered plenty of evidence, from poor imitations of the Emperor's voice to rings that looked like the wedding ring he wore habitually in spite of his being a widower. The evidence, they believed, was that he had sung this song, which he was known for.
With thy bones let me lie when my time comes. Let our bones melt into one in our last graven home of eternal sleep. Let our sleep be peaceful and undisturbed in our joyful evermore together. Forevermore, let us sleep as one alone, to in our death become one. In love's dire sleep of death, we lie one in love, one in fate, one in death, one in sleep, one in dirt. As the earth reclaims us, we will become one eternal.
Fred sang in a video. Along with his song, his voice echoed with the recorded version, and he was evidently told to smile. He looked too happy. "That's Fred," said Blake, recognizing his own voice. "That was grim for a proof of life video," said Reynard, watching the video in an interview room at his police station. He worked as the commanding officer in his day job as a police sergeant. "He's the king of death. What do you expect? A happy song of love and life. He looked like he was enjoying himself. Trust him. Can't perform without looking smug." Lakelandite scoffed. "Hey!" protested Blake. He was insulted and called the king of death because he was it. "It could be a deep fake," said Blake. "Other than him, who'd fake you?" said Lakelandite in a voice sharp as a barb. "I've heard worse fakes today," said Blake, hurt but trying to hide it. Blake looked at the video, which was playing on loop again, thinking it was a grim song to sing for a hostage. Then his mind wandered, and he remembered working in a theatre like the one in the video. "What is it, Blake?" asked Reynard, noticing Blake looked shocked. "I know that theatre," said Blake. "What? Where is it?" asked Reynard. "Chalcedony Hessonite, the ambassador of Beetlejuice, owns it," said Blake. "Beetlejuice," said Reynard, realizing they had found Fred at last. "You've found yourself, have you?" Lakelandite said. Blake glared at his son. "Elsewhere, at a certain theatre in Melbourne City. You know you won't get away with this, Ambassador Hessonite," Fred told his captor. "If they don't give me what I asked for, they'll need a new emperor," said the ambassador. The ambassador put his hand on Fred's neck, as if throttling his prisoner. "No," squeaked Fred, who looked nervous. He didn't want to die. The ambassador laughed and removed his hand. "Only as you say, joking," said the ambassador. "Good, I don't want to die," said Fred, gasping. Fred was nervous. He wondered about his captor's sanity. "Alexander, you are not alone there," said the ambassador. Fred wondered what he meant by saying that he knew Fred's secret. Or was he keeping him alive for some political reason? Was he working alone or as an agent for his government? Fred was curious. "I can see your mind is working things out," said the ambassador, smiling cruelly. "Why did you take me?" asked Fred, realizing the ambassador would not let him live. He knew who he was, and he was there because he was an agent for the Beetlejuiceans. "It matters not if I tell you. You are going to die, and the supreme leader of my people will become the emperor of the universe in your place. You were always meant to die," said the ambassador matter-of-factly. "Oh, how am I to—" Fred said nervously. "You'll be found hung with evidence that points to your heir apparent, the emperor of the ex-Zirachians." "Oh, I see then, with him gone, you'll take over," said Fred, not much liking the idea of him being hanged. "And he is on this miserable planet of yours too for your little forum, so it is perfect," said the ambassador, thoroughly pleased with himself and his plan. Fred knew it was only a matter of time before they killed him, and in his weakened state, he could not stop them. Fred spied a rope and thought, "Oh, that's what the rope's for me." "Now is as good a time as any to dispatch you," said the ambassador cruelly, noting Fred looking awkwardly at the rope. "Stay there, I'll be back," said the ambassador, laughing. "Okay," said Fred glumly, as he knew he couldn't leave even if he wanted to, as he was tied to a chair and couldn't move. The ambassador left the room, returning with a ladder and set up the rope. And the rope to Fred's neck, and released him from the chair. He ordered Fred to stand and removed the chair. "Death to the enemies of my people," said the ambassador coldly, and he pulled the rope and Fred gulped nervously. He was starting to be lifted by the neck up into the air. "You could do with loosing some weight," mocked the ambassador, struggling with the rope. Fred didn't hear him. He was in so much pain. Then the ambassador heard a sound. He was waiting for a sickening snap. It was Fred's neck breaking. The ambassador smiled and hissed, "Finally." He tied the rope to the rafter so Fred would look bad to anyone who found him, then added the fake evidence to the room and left Fred hanging not long later. The door opened. A man, seeing him swinging, screamed in terror. With the others tried to release Fred, the man who screamed caught him cradling him like he was a dead baby. One of the others checked his pulse. There was no pulse. "He's dead," said the man checking his pulse. The man who screamed cried over Fred. The other men looked shocked. "We were too late. I'm dead, that bastard killed me," Blake said through his tears, hugging Fred tighter. Lakelandite turned away from the man, holding his corpse. It was too much for him to bear. There was a gasping sound. Reynard and Lakelandite, though it was Blake, gasping for breath as he cried. "What happened?" asked a voice unmistakably Blake's. "The Beetlejuice ambassador murdered you," said Lakelandite, trying not to cry. "I know that. Why aren't you going after him?" the voice said. "The police have him. We got him outside when we came. You know that, Dad," Lakelandite said. "Can you help me with him?" the voice asked. "Okay," Lakelandite said, and turned to his dad. Blake had fainted, holding Fred. Lakelandite laughed. "What's so funny, boy?" said Reynard, turning around. He saw something that made his heart race. "Will one of you help me or not? You look like a school of stunned mullets," the voice moaned, then huffed frustratedly. "We thought you were out for the count," Reynard said. "You know me can't keep a good man down," the voice said. A policeman ran in the room, panicking. "The man wasn't a man, he was an alien," the policeman said. "Yes," Reynard said. "He said he killed the hostage." "He must be mistaken. I'm fine, if only I could say the same for my grandson." "Blake, he's fainted," Fred said, who was alive and well again. "How you ask?" Fred died only to return to life. It was his secret power. It was why he didn't want to die, because he feared his secret would come out. He couldn't stay dead. The ambassador was declared insane by his people and the police and was put in a prison for insane criminals. Everyone thought him mad, saying he killed Fred, who was perfectly healthy and alive, while his masters pulled their heads in, acting as if he was a lone wolf. Later, Blake and Fred and their wife had a party celebrating his return to freedom at a pub, and Fred tried to buy a celebratory beer. For him and Blake, and they needed to get a policeman to get their licenses back, as they looked too young to drive. The bar staff thought they had fake licenses. They never did get their beers.
Let our bones melt into one in our last grave and home of eternal sleep. Let our sleep be peaceful and undisturbed in our joyful evermore together forever. Let me lie when my time comes. Let our bones melt into one in our last grave and home of eternity.